Hey everyone, welcome back to the Whippy Studio. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Chosen Season 1, Episode 6. And this is all about healing. That's not the title of it. I don't know the titles, but it was all about healing. So, let's go ahead and get into the episode, because there's a lot to talk about. Very good episode. Okay, so I'm finishing up The Chosen next week. I just started a new show on my channel called The Letter for the King that just, yesterday was the first day that, it aired. I mean, for me, it didn't come out until Friday for some random reason on Netflix, but I'm going to be reviewing that beginning of June. I'm going to continue with that. There's 6 episodes, and there's 5 days in June that I can review it. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. So, yeah, The Chosen is going to be finishing up soon. I have 7, 8 coming next week, 6 coming this week. I've really been enjoying doing these Chosen reviews. I hope you guys I don't know. Let's go and get started. Okay, so some overall thoughts. So there's a lot to talk about, and a lot more than what I just wrote down. So, healing was the focus for this episode. Jesus healed, well, many people actually, like 2 on screen. There was that guy at the beginning who came to their campsite, and he healed him. He asked for forgiveness, and I thought that those were their emotional scene. And the second scene was this guy who wasn't able to walk, and Jesus was able to make him walk. He healed him. And those two, I mean, the second one was I mean, they were both emotional. The first one I thought was more, like, emotional. The second one was, like, more happy in a way. I guess is the right way to say it, but I wasn't expecting, I mean, I'm glad that they put a healing, like, episode in, but I wasn't expecting 2 different healings. But it was a really good theme. I'm definitely glad that they touched on it. It's a very important thing to talk about in this type of show, you know? So I am really glad that they were able to incorporate that into this episode of The Chosen. And I wrote down the guy who wasn't able to walk was able to, and I thought that like introducing some new characters was cool. I mean, because they've been experiencing with different miracles in the show already. Last episode, Jesus was able to turn water into wine, and that was a very cool touch or a very cool storyline to explore. And this episode was all about healing, but healing people. Last episode was a miracle, and this episode was healing. And those two are both very, very important things to learn about, especially in a Bible show. And I'm glad that they're touching on some of this stuff. And the expectations. I mean, this was one of my. I gotta say, this episode, it wasn't my favorite. I gotta say, and I'll get to this when I review it, but the finale has to be my favorite. And and then I got to say, the wedding in Cana, which was the last episode, is my second favorite, and this probably comes third favorite. I'll probably like maybe in my finale review give like a little order because that's gonna be a very packed video. So much stuff going on. Stay tuned for that next Thursday. A lot of stuff going on as regards to my chosen review. So again, this episode focused on healing. We got to see 2 different healings. One was the guy who came up to ask for forgiveness on the campsite, and the second one was a guy who wasn't able to walk, and Jesus uh, healed him, and he was able to walk. Well, not very far, but he was able to for a little bit. You know. Um. So yeah. Okay. So I want to talk about a character that I haven't talked about on here yet. He hasn't had a big role, and that is Shmuel. And first of all, very very unusual name, but oh well, it just really doesn't matter. So over these first, well, I mean, the last episodes we've seen him as like a I don't know. Well, he's one of Nicodemus's like he's one of the kids in Nicodemus's class. Very like I mean like everyone. He's like a normal guy. In this episode, he tried to stop Jesus from healing that man, and then that's what changed him. Like I think he's like not the bad guy, of course, but he's definitely. I mean, his character definitely changed a lot in this episode, especially at that scene when Jesus was healing that man. I was really surprised. I was not expecting that. That was really weird, I thought. So his character had a big twist. I was not expecting that, but hey, like I mean, I'm just glad that they're giving this show they're giving characters more screen time. I mean, Shmuel has some screen time this season, and maybe we'll get more of that in season 2, especially because his relationship with Nicodemus is interesting because his character shines out because he's very how do I say it? He very likes to follow the law. I mean, he very pays attention to his reading, and Nicodemus is more like likes to experiment with different things. And honestly, Nicodemus is one of my favorite characters. Nicodemus is also a really good teacher, and teachers have one of the most professional jobs in the world. I gotta say, it's one of the hardest jobs too. So yeah, okay, let's talk about Matthew for a little bit. I have a couple points about Matthew. So over time, we've seen Matthew as the tax collector. In this episode and next episode, and the season finale, we see growth in Matthew, and I put him as the thumbnail because this was a big episode for him. I gotta say, that ending scene, and I'll talk about the ending scene in a second. But first, let's talk about Simon and Andrew's grudge against Matthew. So we got like a confrontation between Simon and Matthew. Andrew's kind of like on the sidelines because Andrew doesn't have the biggest role in the show. Um, so pretty much, oh boy, pretty much what happened was is that Simon went off on Matthew about like him not being a good person, and you see Matthew didn't make the right choice on deciding to move over to or I mean people think of him as a traitor, and maybe he is. I don't. I mean, you should never think of people as traitors, but he definitely did not make the right decision, and he realizes that now. And next episode, Matthew has a storyline that I'll talk about later on because his character development, we get to see a lot more of Matthew in episodes 6 and 7. And we can also kind of see that one of the Romans, or Matthew's like follower, is not the greatest, and we'll get more of that into next episode because next episode focuses on Matthew and Nicodemus a lot. Those two characters get a big focus in next episode, and I'll actually like be talking about them more, especially Nicodemus because him and Jesus have a very powerful scene. So then again, there was like this confrontation between Simon, Andrew, and Matthew, and you can see that like we got finally get to see like the grudge against Matthew with different characters than just outsiders who shove him all the time, you know? And honestly, that's probably not the way things should work, but we don't know what it was like back then for like everyone. Like, I mean, take like Jesus for instance, like he had a big sense of humor, but like I'm excited to see like behind the scenes, like Jesus's past more. Was he what really happened with him, you know? I feel like there's so many gaps that could be explored in season 2. And recently, director Dallas Jenkins gave us some updates. I talked about them a little bit in last Chosen review. You can go check that out, but I've really been enjoying doing these Chosen reviews, honestly. I hope you guys have been enjoying what's coming on my channel, too. Let me talk about this last point, and then we can get into some channel updates. So, the ending scene with Matthew and Jesus. So, pretty much what happened was that Jesus and his people are getting ready to leave. I'm not sure where they were at, but they were getting ready to leave town, and then there was like this eye contact between Jesus turned around and Matthew was standing there, and then he smiled, and then Jesus walked up, and Matthew looked very confused. So, oh boy, how do I explain this? This scene really hit me because it showed me that like that is going to be a difficult discussion with Jesus and Matthew because Matthew has been there so much. Like you can even see that throughout the course of these just past episodes. Matthew has been through a a heck ton. I gotta say, so I'm excited. Well, I've already watched it, but like when I get to next episode, we're gonna get to see like the whole Matthew accepting his faith towards Jesus. Well, not like I don't know. It doesn't like, get shown that much in this episode, but the end of the next episode, it kind of leads into a Matthew focused episode and Nicodemus, of course. But I feel like it overall surrounds around Matthew next episode. I gotta say. So stay tuned because I'm really excited to review next episode as well. Okay, so additional thoughts I didn't write down. Um, so compared to some other episodes I've seen this season, this definitely had one of the strongest topics, and that's healing. Again, I think I like the wedding episode a little bit better, but this has to come in third place out of all the episodes I've watched so far. I'm not sure what my least favorite one is going to be. It might be. I don't know. I'll get to that in a little. I'll get to that in my finale review, and that's coming in a couple of videos. So, anyways, to kind of wrap this video up, um, so my what the summer is going to look like is just talking about. Honestly, the summer is just going to be me reviewing the Letter for the King for the month of June, and then different things in July. I'm going to be starting Disney Plus Spark Shorts reviews next month. I'm really excited to review those. I feel I watched the first episode, which is about that girl named Pearl, and I'll talk about that when I actually get to it in a couple weeks. But I really enjoy that. I feel like they have more mature topics, and they're also making more. One's coming out just this week, and I'll get to all of them eventually. I know I will. It's going to take a little bit of time considering my schedule layout as far as that goes. So yeah, The Chosen season 2. I'm gonna go look at the funding page right now, actually. Let's see where The Chosen season 2 funding is at. Where is The Chosen at? Okay. Last time I checked, I think they're still on season 2, episode 4 funding because they announced that they have season 2, episodes 1 through 4 written. So I assume that they're going to split in half again, episodes 1 through 4 and episodes 5 through 8, film each of them at different times and release them at different times. So it looks like that they're 75% of the way being done resourcing season 2, episode 4. So you think about that for a second. If they are able to get everything funded by the beginning of June for episodes 1 through 4, because he said that they wanted to film something. Now, of course, because of the pandemic, who knows when they're able to film. But they think that they want to get something out by the end of the year. Something, even if it's just the first episode of the show. Or even like, I don't know, like a preview, like a trailer, maybe something. They just want something out by the end of 2020. And they could definitely do something, I know. I mean, right now it's kind of hard considering all of, like, the different considering what's going on in the world is the right way to say it. So, anyways, I want to thank everyone for watching Wolby Studio. I hope you've been enjoying these videos. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Again, I want to hear, go ahead and comment in that discussion tab. You can just talk about things you want to see in my videos. That is completely open for anyone to comment in. Again, I want to hear what you guys want to do. So I hope you guys are staying safe at home. I hope you guys are liking my videos. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for watching Wolby Studio. Stay tuned for more videos to come, and bye.